stop Spider-Man.
You? No, wait, you?
Welcome to CBR. Today we'll be looking at the many Marvel heroes who have donned Spider-Man's spider suit. While some characters have taken up the spider mantle, there are also those who have set their own path to heroic pursuits in the spider suit, stepping out from Spider-Man's web and becoming notable heroes.
I'm not Spider-Man. I mean, what would make you think that I was Spider-Man?
The most famed individual to wear the spider suit is Peter Parker, who is not only the first to do so, but he's also its maker. Hand-sewn, the original spider suit underwent various changes. In early versions, the makeshift disguise is not much more than a potato sack to hide his face. Later, Peter Parker perfects his suit into the traditional red and blue suit that audiences are most familiar with to this day. While his suit still undergoes redesigns and changes throughout the eras, the design still remains recognizable and iconic for Spider-Man's fans.
I think it's cool.
Take that off. It's disrespectful. Spider-Man doesn't wear a cape.
Other Spider individuals have worn the suit on numerous occasions. Notably, Earth 1610's Miles Morales underwent his own parallel experience to Peter Parker's. Bitten in Brooklyn, New York by a radioactive spider, Miles becomes his own universe's Spider-Man. Like Peter Parker, Miles begins with his own DIY suit that bears little resemblance to the one he wore later on. From the comics to the groundbreaking Into the Spider-Verse movie series, Miles has established himself as a hero in his own right for a new generation of fans.
My name is Gwen Stacy. I was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Spider-Gwen is an alternate universe version of Gwen Stacy from Earth 65. In this universe, Gwen is bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker, leading to the development of Gwen's super abilities. Gwen's version of the spider suit is white on top with black from mid-torso going to her legs. Also notable, she has a hood. The webbed aspects of the costume can be seen around the eyes and biceps. Otherwise, the costume bears little resemblance to the traditional spider suit. Like Miles, Spider-Gwen has become an iconic Marvel hero, playing a key role in her own comics and the Spider-Verse films as well. Earth 616's Cindy Moon is born with an eidetic memory, the ability to recall events and details with picture-perfect ability. Cindy is a brilliant student who was meant for great things. But as with all things Marvel, fate had other plans. During the same incident in which Peter Parker was bitten by the radioactive spider, Cindy is also bitten. The result is a similar path of realization as Peter's, with Cindy developing various abilities and the addition of being able to produce organic webbing. Cindy takes on the role of Silk, donning various outfits during her career. In one instance, she wears a suit composed entirely of webs, resembling a mummy. Later, she wears a more classic spider suit, a gray and black costume with a web grid pattern across the entire suit. Silk, however, doesn't wear a full mask and instead only covers the bottom half of her face. Still, her color scheme sets her apart from many of her fellow spider heroes. Earth 8545's Mary Jane Watson from the Legacy Planet becomes Spider-Woman. This Mary Jane is from a world where most heroes had been overtaken by the Legacy virus, a plague born from Scott Summers' familial DNA and unleashed by Mr. Sinister. On this Earth, Mary Jane operates as Spider-Woman, wearing the classic red and blue suit with an opening for the bottom half of her face. Also, in this world is the six-armed Peter Parker, who wears the classic suit but with the sides ripped to make room for his additional appendages.
Sorry, I can't talk right now.
Also hailing from Earth 616 is Ben Reilly, a clone of Peter Parker. Ben was created by the Jackal, also known as Ben Warren, who wanted to make an exact replica of Peter Parker to give the hero a new foe. After some time as an on-again, off-again villain, Ben eventually settles into his role as the Scarlet Spider. The most famous Scarlet Spider costume is all red with white eyepieces, and a sleeveless blue hoodie with a black spider on its chest. Thus, he remains similar to the original Peter Parker while taking his own spin of the spider suit design.
What is that?
Mayday, you have a baby!
I have a baby.
In one alternative future version of events, Peter Parker and Mary Jane Parker, née Watson, eventually have a kid together, Mayday Parker. After an accident leaves Peter with a single leg, the hero decides to hang up his web shooters and officially retire. As a teen, May began developing powers inherited from her father. Eventually, May embraces her calling and becomes Spider-Girl. The first iteration of May's suit is actually one of Ben Reilly's, who passed away before ever meeting May. Later, May made a spider suit of her own, but it bears a strong resemblance to the one she adapted from Ben's. Thus, her suit honors the legacy of her father and Ben Reilly, while still establishing her as her own hero. From the same experiments that created Ben Reilly, the Jackal also created Kane Parker. Kane is another Peter clone who was one of the Jackal's earliest attempts to recreate a dark version of the hero. Kane's genetic instability lead to many problems, including an unstable mental state. Later on, after a series of ups and downs, Kane takes on the role of the Scarlet Spider, learning that he can do far more as a hero than a villain. Kane's spider suit is black and red with red eye pieces, a notable deviation from Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider costume.
Oh, this? We don't know the sex yet. My husband wants it to be a surprise.
Unlike many other spider heroes, Jessica Drew became Spider-Woman by necessity. As a child, Jessica was poisoned by uranium, which led her father to investigate means of staving off illness and death. The result was that Jessica's father composed an arachnid serum and gave it to his daughter. After spending time in stasis and a genetic accelerator, Jessica sets out on her own and has a chance encounter with Hydra. Soon, Jessica is employed as one of their agents and struggles to pursue a career of villainy. Eventually, Jessica becomes Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman's has the same eyes as Spider-Man's. The rest is much different than other versions of the character. Jessica wears gold boots and gold gloves, and the dominant color of the suit is ruby red.
Miguel O'Hara?
Meet Miles Morales.
Earth 928's Miguel O'Hara was a genius, a geneticist whose works landed him a position at Alchemax. Eventually, Miguel tries to leave Alchemax but is dosed with a potent hallucinogenic called Rapture, which configures itself based on the DNA of the user, forming a lifelong addiction. Miguel later attempts to cure himself of his ailment and ends up splicing his DNA with that of a spider, mutating into the hero who would become Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man 2099's suit is all black with jagged red designs reminiscent of Spider-Man, but more in vogue with a grungier 90s aesthetic. He also has a tattered cape made of webs which he produces organically, unlike Peter Parker. On Earth 8101, Peter Parker's counterpart is a spider monkey who becomes, you guessed it, Spider Monkey. Along with the Ape Vengers, Spider Monkey faces off against numerous simian threats, including Otto Octavius, the orangutan version of Dr. Octopus. Spider Monkey's spider suit is classic red and blue with an additional section to cover his long prehensile tail. Spider Monkey is only one of many animal versions of classic Marvel heroes and villains, but he also represents a fun version of Spider-Man reimagined. Besides the main Spider-Man variations, who have worn the spider suit at one time or another, and received lengthy runs examining their personal histories and various battles, there are countless other versions of the hero across the Spider-Verse. There's Spider UK, whose suit combines the traditional spider suit with the Union Jack. There's also Spider-Man Noir, who wears a black and white version of the spider suit, complete with a trench coat and fedora. In India, Pavitr Prabhakar becomes Spider-Man as well, wearing a red and blue spider suit along with dhoti and mojari, Indian pants and footwear, respectively. There's also a time when Otto Octavius takes on the role of Superior Spider-Man and even Peter Parker's body, adapting the traditional suit to replace the classic blue with black. These characters show just how far the Spider-Verse's influence has reached as they each adapt their spider powers to forge their own path. There are countless variations of Spider-Man, some one-off, some who have appeared in multiple comic book runs. Each character wears something similar to Peter Parker, adapted to suit their persona. Still, the common elements of all of their costumes unite these heroes and sometimes villains, making the Spider-Verse and its characters one of the most easily recognizable groups for major comics fans and new audiences alike. Let us know which spider suit is your favorite in the comments below. Remember to hit subscribe before you go. Until next time, webheads, thanks for joining us at CBR.